to Stylish Naija YouTube channel. I want to say thank you to all of my subscribers. Thank you so much for subscribing to Stylish Naija YouTube channel. Thank you for the love and the support. Okay, so in today's video, I'm going to be showing you how to cut and sew a tiered gathered dress. You can call it a layer gathered dress. So you can see the picture up here. So that's what I'm going to be showing you how to cut and sew today. So it is a very simple and easy dress. Even as a beginner, you can actually try this out. So what we are going to be learning in this class, I'm going to be showing you how to measure. You know, since it is on its layers, I'm going to show you how to measure each of the layers, so for you to know how to measure out your fabric. Okay, so I have fabric here. This fabric that I have here, it's actually a sample fabric, which is 5 yards. So that's what I'm going to be using because I'm sewing a long dress, so I want it to be really flowing. So that's what I'm going to be using today for this class. So if you are new to Stylish Naija YouTube channel, this is the first time of you coming across Stylish Naija YouTube channel, I would appreciate if you hit on the subscribe button and then hit on the bell also to get an update whenever I upload a new video. That's the essence of that bell that you see there. And you can also follow me on all of my social media platforms: Facebook, Instagram, Pinterest, all at Stylish Naija. You can also register for our online classes, which we normally run every month. So you can see my number scrolling through the screen. Just give it a screenshot, send me a message on WhatsApp, and then I'll give you the details of the classes that we have available right now. Okay, so let's get started. So before we start, my dress, I'm going to be using the length of 60 inches. That's from the top down. That's from the shoulder to the hemline on the floor. It's going to be 60 inches. And then the top part, I'm going to divide it into 2 layers first. And then the down part, I'm going to divide into 5 layers. So I'm going to use my mannequin to explain this for you. So you can choose how many layers you actually want to divide yours to. So, but just once you watch the video, you understand how to measure out your panels. Okay, so let's just get started. Okay, so I'm going to show you how we're going to measure out our panel or our layer or our tier. So the first thing, the full length of my dress is actually 60 inches. So it's going to run to the hemline because it is a long dress. So if you are going to make a short one, you can just measure up to what you want it to be. So my half cut, that's from my shoulder to my half cut for this dress, is actually 17 inches. So I wrote out the dimensions down, so I'll explain it so for it to be faster. So it's 17 inches. That's from my chest line to my half cut is 17 inches. So for this, you can decide to give it a cut on the chest line, or you can just run a straight bodice. That's from the top to the half cut. You can decide to do that. So for mine, I'm going to give it a cut on the chest line. So I'm going to measure from my shoulder to my chest line. I'm going to be making it of 8 inches. And then this is 17 inches. So in order for me to know how many inches I'm going to cut, that I'll add from this part to add to the top to give me my half cut, you are just going to measure 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. So this is 9 inches. So I'm going to cut 9 inches and then add it to my 8 inches. That will give me 17 inches. So that is for our half cut. So we are done with the half cut. So, and this half cut, they are just going to be straight pieces. So our pleats, that is our gathers, is going to start from the half cut line. So this is at the part that we are going to increase. But then, since it is divided in layers, you need to measure how many inches apart you want for each layer. So for this, from the half cut, I'm going to be making about 5 layers. So I'm going to measure now. So I'm just going to put my tape like this. So this is my half cut, 17 inches. So the first layer that I'm going to add, I'm going to cut it on top of my waistline. So it's going to be about 21 or 22 inches. So what you are going to do, you are going to measure how many inches do you have between 17 and 21. So this is 17 and then this is 21. So you need something like this that you are going to join and pleat. So this is 21 inches. So the difference, so I wrote it down, I have 4 inches. So the first layer that I'm going to cut out, my long strap, is going to be 4 inches. So I want you to note. So this is 21. And then the next cut that I'm going to cut is 27 inches. Okay, sorry, 28 inches. So this is 28 inches. And you know the first one, we stopped at 21 inches. I hope you can understand this, please. We stopped at 21 inch. That's where the cut will be. And then the next one is 28 inches. So the difference between these 2 inches is going to be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So we're going to have 7 inches. So that's another piece that I'm going to cut out 7 inches. And then the next cut, so I don't want to confuse you, so that is why I'm just leaving the tape like this. The next cut that I'm going to cut is going to be 37 inches. So this is my 37 inches. So you count the difference between 28 and 37 inches. So that is how much fabric you are going to cut out. And then the next cut, the fourth one, is going to be 47. So this is 47 inches like this. So you count the difference between 37 and 47. And then the last cut is going to be from 47 downwards. So I hope you understand how we are going to measure out our layers. So I already wrote out, like I said, I wrote out the dimensions. So the next thing is just for us to go back to our cutting table and then go and cut. Okay, so I've cut out the amount of fabric that I'm going to use for my first layer, which is 8 inches. That's the chest line, shoulder to chest line. So my fabric is actually a two-faced fabric. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to be using both this darker part and then this lighter part. So what I intend to do is I'm just going to use this lighter part, that's this part that is so red. I'm going to use it for the top part. And then when I'm working the layers down, I'm going to use the black part. So I just want to mix up the fabric since it is a two-faced fabric. I'm just so excited. So this fabric, you can actually get them. They are actually called sample fabrics. So they are very beautiful. And I bought a lot of fabric. A lot. I went fabric shopping. A lot of sample fabrics. Seriously, I did. So now I'm going to just fold like this. So I'm just going to place both the back and the front together, and then we're going to cut. It is a very simple process. So what we're going to do is just measure out your shoulder measurement. So my shoulder is 14. You divide into two for beginners. This is 7, and then I'm going to add just 1 inch as my stitching allowance. And then from this point, I'm going to measure my armhole measurement. So for the armhole, I'm going to make use of 7.5 inches. So the next thing I'm going to do now, I'm going to slope my shoulder into this point. So I'm just going to slope it like this. And then I'm going to measure my chest line. So it's going to be my exact measurement. So for my chest line, so in measuring your chest line, you can actually put your tape and just measure across. So for my chest line, I'm going to use 30 inches. So this is 30 inches. When you divide into 4, I have 7.5. And then I'm going to add my allowance to it. So it's just going to come like this. So I'll cut out. So I'm cutting both the back and the front the same. Okay, so this is our dress. So the next thing we're going to now, let's cut out the second part. So the second part that we're going to cut out, like I explained, from the shoulder to the half cut now is going to be 17 inches. So we're cutting out another layer of 9 inches. It is a very simple process. So I'm still going to use my red part of my fabric. So here's what I'm going to do. I'll fold the remaining fabric like this. And then I'm just going to place this like this, just 1 inch on top. You understand? That's just like a very simple way of doing this. Just place it like 1 inch on top so you have allowance to stitch it. I'll just place it here for me to get my 17 inches from my shoulder to my half cut. So I have about 18 inches here. So I just added an extra 1 inch on top and then half of an inch at the down. So the next thing, on this chest line part, if you want to pleat, put a tiny pleat, you can decide to do that. But if you want it to be just a straight bodice, you can decide to do that. So mine, I'm going to pleat this part. So I'm going to add a little bit of about 2 inches to my fabric. So the down part of my dress, that's my half cut on the round circumference of my half cut is actually 32 inches. So when you divide 32 into 4, you have 8. So this is my 8 inches. And then I'm going to add my regular allowance of about 2 inches. And then, so on this part, I'm not going to adjust. So that part is just okay. So on this chest line part, since I want to pleat, so I'm going to add 2 inches on this side like this. So I'm just going to mark this, and then I'll just shift this because I just want to have like a straight cut down. So this part I'm going to actually trim out when I'm doing like the final shaping. So I can actually do this, but I just want to leave this part. So you notice, I just want you to notice what I'm doing. So I just added extra 2 inches on this part, and I'm going to pleat on this chest part. But this down part is going to be my actual round circumference of my waist. So I hope you understand. So after pleating it, I'm going to show you how to trim it. Okay, so we have our cut now from the top to the down. So this is our half cut. That's from this shoulder to this part is our half cut. So this is the extra that I'm just going to like hold on this part. So after holding anything that is remaining, I'll just shape it to my half cut. So I hope you get it. So we are done with our from shoulder to our half cut. So I'm just going to keep this on the side, and then we're going to continue. So now we're going to measure out the other layers. So all of our pieces, what I'm going to do, we're going to cut them very straight and long, and then we're going to join them on the side. So the difference when cutting this kind of dress, as the layer progresses, you are going to increase the width of your fabric. So you can decide how many inches apart you want to increase. That's the width. So because that is what will give it that flowing look. But if you decide to make, for instance, now if I decide to like one layer, let me say I'm going to use about 36 inches for the first one. So the next one is going to be about 45 inches. So it depends on how many inches you are going to add apart as in to the width. So that is what will give it that form, that it will form like a full maxi flared dress. But if you decide to use the same inches for all of them, that's the width, it's not going to be fine. So I will decide that. So mine, I think I'm going to add about 10 inches apart. So I'm going to fold out my fabrics now. So the first inches that I'm going to cut out now is going to be 21 inches. That's it's going to be 4 inches. But the width that I'm going to cut out, I'm going to cut out about, so this is about 30 inches. It is folded into to 30 inches. So this is for both the back and the front because I'm going to be making it straight. So I'm using 30 inches, which is 60 inches for that. That's the width. And then the length, we measured out initially and said we're cutting it out about 4 inches for that. So I'm just going to remember I'm going to add half inch on top. That's on top and the down. So that will give it so you'll be able to stitch both the up and the down. So I'm just going to mark it like this. It is just a straight. You understand? It is a straight cut. So I'm going to mark it like this, and then I'll cut out. So this is the first one that we're going to pleat around this part. I hope you can see it. I used 60 inches. That's for the, so I'm going to just go ahead and cut all of them, and then I'll come back and explain more. Okay, so I finished cutting out all of my pieces, so I'm going to explain now. So this is the first one that I cut out. So you see, like I said, I used 30 inches. That's from this point to this point. I just cut out 1 inch because I folded my fabric into two. Excuse me. And then I cut out one piece. So this is the second one. This is the second one. So you can see that I cut out double of the width measurement. You understand? So I cut out double. So this is about 60 inches now that I'm going to use for this one, for this next layer. And then the third one, I don't want to mix up my fabrics. So, and then this is the third one. So for the third one, I cut out two and a half layers. So this is the second one. I'm just going to join them. So this is the second one, and then this is half piece. So at the end of the day, so this is 60 inches. This is 60 inches plus 30. So this is about 90 inches now. Long strap, I'm going to join them. This is 90 inches. And then this is three layers. So this is three layers of what I have here. So this is 60, 60, 60. So that's 120. This is for the fourth layer. And then the last layer is the down piece. So this is the down piece. So I'm just going to use what I made here. That's what I'm going to use for the down piece also. So the next thing, I'm going to go and join all of my pieces together. So this, you just join them on the side like this to create a long strap, and then you are going to draw gathers on them, each of them. So this, I'm going to draw gathers. So I'll just stitch and then pull. So I'll go ahead and do that, and then I will come back and show you. So I don't want to mix all of my fabrics up. I don't want to run into any problem. So I had to label them. So for the neckline, I'm just going to do a regular high round neckline. So that's what I'll do for the top and the down. So it is a very simple process, and here is what I'm going to do. So I'll mark it like this. So this is the center front. I'll mark it like this. So I'll use 3 inches. I want it to be high. So I don't want it to be too open. So this is 3 inches, and then I'm going to do the width. So for the width, I'll come like this. I'll mark about 4 inches for the width. Sorry, for the depth. So this is the width. The width, I'm using 3 inches, and then the depth, I'm using about 4 inches. So I'm just going to mark, just give it a round curve like this. So you see what I have? I'll give it a round curve like this. And then for the back, so this is going to be the back neckline, is going to be high. So I'm just going to drop with about 1 inch for the back neckline. So that's the back. Just make sure that it is on the same line. And then you curve this out. So I'll cut out the back. And then I'll cut out the front. So for this dress, I'm not going to be lining it. I'm just going to cut out facing for the neckline. Okay, so I'll go ahead, I'll go and join. So like I said, I'll go and join the back and the front together. So I'll cut this back open because I'm going to add a zipper to this dress. So I'll join right side. So like I said, I'm using the red part as my, so it's going to be like this. So I'll go ahead and go and stitch, join them together. That's joint on the shoulder, shoulder, and then for this piece, so I'll cut out another piece for the back that I'm going to join. So I'll join this also to this part and then bring it back and show you. Okay, so I finished stitching. So I did a little adjustment to my dress while I was sewing. So initially I told you I was going to add pleats on this part. That's tiny gather. So at the end of the day, I just changed it. I decided to make it straight, and I was supposed to use this same color. That's this red part. So after fixing it, I found out that it was just looking the same. There was no really visible change. So I had to loosen it again and then turn the back. So you can see how the front is looking like now. So it is straight, but I have two separate layers. And then I've added my dart. So this is the back piece. Also, I did the same thing for the back piece. So I've added my dart. So the next thing I'm going to do now, I'm going to join the back and the front together on the shoulder side like this. So I'm going to join the shoulder, and then I'm going to join the side. So I'll just use my measurement, my bust measurement and my waist measurement. I'll join like this down. So I'll do that, and then I'll come back and show you how we're going to be attaching the layers of pleats on it. Okay, so I finished joining my dress on the shoulder, and then I've joined the side. So I've trimmed everything out to fit. So this part now is my waist measurement, and then this is my bust measurement. So what I'm going to do now, so this is our first piece. So literally what I'm going to be doing, I'm going to be pleating this. So like I said, I'm going to fix them round. I'm not going to be fixing them one. Now I'll fix it round. So I'm going to fix this one to fit into this point. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to open my piece. I'm just going to do this. Please don't do that. Don't do that. Just use a seam ripper to do that. So I'm just going to open it straight like this, and then I'm going to take this back to my machine. I'll just run a loose stitch on it, and then I will pull. So you can decide to pleat, to do tiny pleats, just on tiny pleats for it to fit into the spot. So that's what I'm going to, that's what I will go and do. So I'll go ahead, I'll go and run a loose stitch, pull it, and then I'll fix it on this part. So that will be my first layer. So I'll do that and then come back and show you. We'll go back to the second one. Okay, so welcome back, guys. So you can see, so I finished fixing the first layer, so you could see. So this is the first one. So like I said, I'm fixing it straight. So I'm just fixing it straight like this. So I'm not like dividing it. So that's the first one. So now this is the second one. So I've finished drawing all of the gathers. So you know the second one, we actually cut out two pieces. So what I'm going to do now, I'm just going to take it to my machine. So when I want to join it, I'm going to stitch on this line. I'll join them together and then I'm going to fix it straight. So here's what you are going to note. So this part now, so when I'm fixing it on the down part, I'm just going to make sure I'll use my hands to control it. As I stitch along, I'll just control it to make sure that this fits into the down part of my first layer. You understand? So you could see. I will just make sure. So if you see it has not gotten to this end, so I'm just going to pull this part a little bit and then it fits into the second layer. So I'm done with that. And then this is the third one, the one that I cut out 2.5 and pieces. So I'll join them just the way I explained this. I'll join them together on the side, and then I'll fix it on this down part, and then the fourth one. So I'll just go ahead and fix all of them like that, and then come back and show you. The truth of the matter is that this dress is not like it is really a difficult style to sew, but physically it's not a difficult style, but mentally it is a little bit difficult because you have to really calculate. You understand? You know, most times I'll tell you that it is not difficult. This one is mental difficult. There's anything like that. So you need to really calculate it. If not, it will not sit well. It will not come out fine. So that's that. Okay, so you can see, so I finished stitching all of my pieces on my dress. So you can see how all of the pieces are looking like. So this is the front and then this is the back of the dress. So there's something that you have to do when you are stitching this kind of dress. You'll notice that, you know, I fixed it around. So when you are joining the back, that's the back and line, that's the zipper line downwards. Just make sure, in order for you to have a neat job, make sure that all of your lines that they correspond, as in when joining them, make sure they correspond. So that is what will give the dress a beautiful look. But if it is looking like this, maybe one is up, one is down, it will not be looking professional. It will be looking like an amateur did this. So that is that for the dress. So what is remaining now is for me to make the sleeve. So out of the 5 yards that I use, so I just have little fabric left for me to make my sleeve. So with this, I will not be able to make the sleeve that I wanted to make. So I'm just going to make a basic sleeve, just a basic puff sleeve. So I already have the video on my YouTube channel. So I'll just drop the link in the description box. It is a simple sleeve. I'll just add a little bit of elastic here and then fix this part to the shoulder part. So I'll just drop the link for those of you that want to learn how to make that sleeve. So there's no point of me showing it. So I'm just going to place this now on the mannequin for you to see the final look of how it is looking like. Okay, so at the end of the day, so you can see how it is looking like. So the dress actually came out really beautiful. So you can see it is so full. Like I said, I used 5 yards, so it consumed like literally all of my 5 yards. So what is remaining is just for me to hem it down and then I fix the sleeve just like I explained. So like I said, the back, you just make sure that all of your lines, that all of them, they correspond on all of the joints. So thank you so much. If you find this video helpful, I will appreciate if you hit on the like button to make me know you appreciate on this video. So thank you so much. Just give it a thumbs up if you like the video. I'll see you in my next class. God bless you.